In this lesson, we're going to read a news article together so you can learn a lot of advanced vocabulary, advanced grammar, and even correct pronunciation. Let's get started. Welcome to our article. We're talking about TikTok. I'm sure an app you're very familiar with. Let me read the headline. Agencies have 30 days to ban TikTok on government devices, White House says. So this article is about banning TikTok. You need to know what ban means to understand the context of this article. Ban is a verb and it means to not allow or to prohibit. Now, of course, this article is about government, the government banning TikTok. And the government allows and doesn't allow bans many different things. Not just the government, for example, there are many times. Imagine you go to the airport. There are many things or activities that are banned at an airport that are not allowed. For example, smoking. Smoking is banned in all airports. Now notice here, I'm using my verb to be, and then I'm using ban in the ed form. Notice the spelling, you add an extra N when it's in the ed form. This does not affect pronunciation at all. Smoking is banned. I could use an active sentence and I could talk about who banned smoking at airports. For example, the airport authority, assuming there is one, the airport authority banned smoking. This verb ban is commonly used in the passive form as well, because a lot of times we're just talking about the result. We're not necessarily talking about who is banning something. So how could I take this sentence and put it in the passive form? What do you think? I'll give you a second. Let me write it out for you in the passive form. So I can take my active sentence, the airport authority bans smoking. So I'm going to take smoking is going to be my subject. Smoking, my verb in the active form is in the past simple. So now all I have to do is turn it into the passive form, which needs the verb to be. And that is going to be in the past simple. Smoking was banned. I'm going to leave ban in the ed form. Smoking was banned by the airport authority. So that's my passive sentence. So you can use the verb ban in an active sentence, and it's very commonly used in the passive sentence as well. Let me read the headline again. Agencies have 30 days to ban TikTok on government devices, White House says. So this is an order coming from the White House. All right, let's continue on. The White House has directed federal agencies that they have 30 days to remove TikTok from all government-issued devices. So again, here, they're removing TikTok because the government has banned TikTok. I could say that as just a statement. The government has banned TikTok. Notice here that I used which verb tense? I used the present perfect verb tense. Let me see if I can put this in capitals and if it will correct the spelling. It likes that. It likes it in capitals. Tick, tock. This is in the present perfect. Now, why did I put this sentence in the present perfect when I said it out loud? The government has banned TikTok. It's because it's an action. That's a completed action. The government has banned TikTok, so you need to remove it from your device. It's a completed past action, but it has a result in the present. Completed past action with a result in the present. And the result in the present is, so now you have to remove it from your device. That's why I put this in the present perfect when I said it out loud. 30 days to remove TikTok. Now keep in mind, this isn't the general public. This is only for government issued devices. So if you have a phone, but the government, your job, your employer gave you this phone, you have to remove TikTok from this phone. But let's say you have another phone that's your personal phone. Well, you wouldn't have to remove it. You would only have to remove TikTok from your government issued phone. Okay, here we go. We'll continue on. U.S. officials have raised concerns that the Chinese government could pressure ByteDance to hand over information. Let me just pause there. I want to just point out our verb here, have raised concerns. You can raise a concern. Oh, I have a concern that I'd like to raise at the next meeting. So it's just another way of saying to share a concern. Let me write the sentence I just said. I have a concern that I'd like to raise. Again, this is another way of just saying I'd like to share. Or you could say, you raised a valid concern in the meeting. A valid concern is simply a concern that we should consider further. It's a nice way of saying a good concern. A good concern, that sounds like very beginner English. A valid concern. It's a concern we should consider. It's a way of saying, I think your concern is a good concern. U.S. officials have raised concern that the Chinese government could pressure ByteDance. ByteDance, they actually don't explain it in the article, but ByteDance is the company that owns TikTok, if you weren't sure who ByteDance was. The company that owns TikTok. So the Chinese government could pressure ByteDance. When the Chinese government pressures another, it means they try to get them to do something specific. I wrote the definition here. Now let me share an example sentence. My coworker pressured me to stay late to help him. So remember, we have one, my coworker. Then we have our verb pressure. Here it's in the past simple because it's a completed action. Maybe I'm talking about something that happened yesterday. And then one pressures one pressures another. So the other is me. My coworker pressured me, and this is what he tried to get me to do. He tried to get me to stay late to help him. So maybe my workday ends at 5 o'clock, but my coworker said, "Oh, please, I really need your help. Remember, I helped you last week, so it would be really great if you could stay late and help me. It will look really good if you do. If you don't, I'll tell other people you're not a team player." So those are the ways that someone could press you. Usually with an argument. It could also be by trying to offer you something as well. So the Chinese government could pressure ByteDance, the owners of TikTok, to hand over information. When you hand something over, it means you simply provide it. So you provide information. Here, to give something to someone, to give is to provide. It's just a different way of saying it. But notice I wrote, often because you're required to. So a government official, a police officer, someone at the airport might say, hand over your liquids. Remember, at the airport, liquids are banned once you get through security. So let me write that because it's another great example with the word ban. Liquids are banned at the airport once you get through security, and it's liquids more than 3 ounces, I believe. Liquids are banned at the airport. So let's say I try to take this bottle of water through security. This is more than 3 ounces, right? The airport official would say, "Ma'am, hand over your water." Now, I have to give my water to the airport official, but I don't necessarily want to. I'm required to. So we generally use the phrasal verb to hand something over when there is this element of you're required to. You might be required to hand something over because your boss requires it, your company requires it, the bank requires it. There could be many different times beyond the government. But just keep that in mind when you are using the phrasal verb to hand something over. So let me write that out. Liquids are banned at the airport. I had to hand over my water bottle to the airport official. I don't know what you call the airport officials, to be honest. I'm just going to call them airport officials. To the airport official. So the Chinese government may try to convince BrightDance, try to get them to hand over information. So again, this is saying that BrightDance may not want to give the information to the Chinese government, but they may feel required to. Why? Well, maybe the Chinese government will somehow cause problems for them if they don't. I'm not sure. I just shared that as an example. If you have an idea, feel free to share it in the comments. Hand over information collected from users. So of course, to hand over your personal information that they get because you use the app TikTok. That could be used for intelligence or disinformation purposes. Disinformation, you might be wondering what this is. I recognize information. What's disinformation? Disinformation is when you share false information, but you do it on purpose. So to share false information. Share false information on purpose. Let's continue on. As CNN has previously reported, independent security experts have said that type of access is a possibility. So what type of access are they talking about? And what is this possibility? That type of access, they're talking about the fact that BrightDance may be required to hand over, or to use our vocabulary, that BrightDance may be pressured to hand over your personal information. So that's the type of access, the personal information. And it's a possibility. When something is a possibility, to me, this sounds like a 50-50 chance. Oh, it's a possibility. So if someone asks you, do you think it could rain today? It's a possibility. Do you think we'll get bonuses this month? It's a possibility. 50% we will, 50% we won't. Now you can make this stronger. You could say there's a high possibility that we'll get bonuses this month. A bonus is money additional to your paycheck. So you get your paycheck and then you get more money, bonus money, usually because performance was really positive. Now, if I say there's a possibility, to me, this, again, like I said, it sounds like 50-50. But of course, if I add the word high possibility, I'm increasing the chance. And to me, this sounds about 70% possible, maybe even 80%, but I'll say 70% plus that it's possible. So it's more likely than not. What would be the opposite of high possibility? What do you think? If I want to say there's only a 30% chance, what would be the opposite? What word would I replace? There's a high possibility. There's a low possibility. There's a low possibility that we'll get bonuses this month. So that's probably about a 30% or minus. So 30%, 20%, 15%. So notice we have possibility, which is 50-50. You can modify it as high possibility or low possibility. You can use this to talk about receiving something like a bonus. You can use this about the weather, the traffic, really about anything you're making a prediction on. So in this case, they're saying security experts are saying there's only a 50% chance that the Chinese government would pressure ByteDance to hand over, to give that information. Though there has been no reported incident of such access to date. So there's no evidence that the Chinese government is actually requiring ByteDance to hand over this information, or that ByteDance is handing over the information regardless. There's no actual evidence of that, but the US government is still banning TikTok from government-issued phones. Brooke Oberwetter, a spokesperson for TikTok, called such a ban little more than political theater. So by saying it's political theater, it's saying it's a joke. You shouldn't take it seriously. It's comical. So it's a way of insulting the government's actions. Why? Well, probably because there is actually no evidence. That could be a reason why. So political theater, it's just a way to insult the government, an insult against the government. Now notice here, a ban. What do you notice that's different from the examples I gave before? The government banned TikTok. Let's talk about the ban. What do you notice? Well, my first sentence, the government banned TikTok, is a verb. Ban is being used as a verb. The government banned TikTok. This is a verb. To ban. That's the verb, not bad. Ban. Now, our other example was, let's meet to discuss the ban. In this case, the or a ban is a noun. And an easy way to identify if something is a noun or a verb, if it's a verb, it's going to be conjugated. If it's a noun, it will have an article, or it could have a plural form as well. So it's an easy way to identify it. Let's meet to discuss the ban. Now, I could say what type of ban? The TikTok ban. Let's meet to discuss the TikTok ban. Let's meet to discuss the smoking ban, the ban. So you will see this as a noun as well. Canada announced it would also be banning the app on government devices. Now here, it would also be banning the app. Right now, is the app banned in Canada? If I say the government announced it would also be banning the app. Today, the app is not banned.
but is going to be banned in the future. And here it says as soon as Tuesday. So by the time you're watching this, most likely TikTok has been banned in Canada. Again, present perfect because it's a completed past action with a result in the present. The government, this time of Canada, has banned TikTok. The ban was implemented on Tuesday, and I'll just say March 1st. I don't know when that Tuesday was, but I'll just say March 1st. Has banned TikTok. The ban, this is our noun, right? The ban was implemented. This just means when it started. Implement, you implement a government rule, policy, regulation, in this case, a ban, was implemented on Tuesday, March 1st. Oh, and the European Commission last week issued its own prohibition. This is another way of saying its own ban. They're just deciding to use prohibition, which is the noun form of the word prohibit. Because remember, at the beginning, I said to ban is to not allow, to prohibit. So prohibition is the noun form of the verb prohibit. But we're practicing ban, and honestly, prohibition isn't as common. Ban is the more common, natural. So I encourage you to use ban. Last week issued its own ban, in this case it's a noun, on the app on official devices. Remember, this isn't for a regular citizen. This is just for a phone, a device that was issued by the government. So keep that in mind on official devices, citing cybersecurity concerns. Over half of all US states have also partially or fully banned TikTok. So notice here, have banned. What verb tense is this? The present perfect. And in this case, we're using have because US states is our plural, and it would be they. They have banned. Now, partially means that only some of TikTok is banned. I don't know how you partially ban an app, to be honest. I'm not sure. And fully is 100%. So partially would be 50% of TikTok. There's some things that you can use, but some things that you cannot use. So maybe somehow it's possible that you can watch TikTok videos, but you're not allowed to upload your own video. I don't know if that's possible, but that would be an example of partially banned. Fully banned is 100%, of course. TikTok on the devices of government employees. Again, this is just government employees. And the U.S. House of Representatives previously announced it had restricted the app on electronic devices managed by the chamber. Okay. It had restricted. This is our past perfect. Now past perfect. We use this for a past action that happens before another past action. So first, it restricted the app on electronic devices, and then it banned the app. So restrictions happened first, and then the ban came. It had restricted the app. So I wonder, in your country, have they banned TikTok on any devices? Is that something they're talking about? Do you use TikTok? What do you think? Share your comments below, and I can't wait to read them. So now what I'll do, that's the end of the article. So what I'll do is I'll read the article from start to finish so you can focus on my pronunciation and follow along with my pronunciation. So let's do that now. Agencies have 30 days to ban TikTok on government devices, White House says. The White House has directed federal agencies that they have 30 days to remove TikTok from all government-issued devices. U.S. officials have raised concerns that the Chinese government could pressure ByteDance to hand over information collected from users that could be used for intelligence or disinformation purposes. As CNN has previously reported, independent security experts have said that type of access is a possibility, though there have been no reported incident of such access to date. Brooke Oberwetter, a spokesperson for TikTok, called such a ban little more than political theater. Canada announced it would also be banning the app on government devices beginning as soon as Tuesday. And the European Commission last week issued its own prohibition on the app on official devices, citing cybersecurity concerns. Over half of all U.S. states have also partially or fully banned TikTok on the devices of government employees, and the U.S. House of Representatives previously announced it had restricted the app on electronic devices managed by the chamber.
Amazing job. If you liked this lesson, I recommend you watch this lesson next and make sure you get your free speaking guide where I share 6 tips on how to speak English fluently and confidently. You can get the free guide right here, and when you're ready, click here to start your next lesson.